Georgia's so-called heartbeat law was signed by Governor Kemp in 2019. It bans abortions when there is cardiac activity in an embryo, but has exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the mother. Joining us now, the president of Planned Parenthood, Alexis McGill Johnson, the president of Emily's List, LaFonza Butler, and the president of NARAL, Minnie Timaraju. And this is the first time that women of color have led all three of these organizations at the same time, and the first time that they are appearing together in an interview. So I welcome you all. Thank you very much. I want to start out by asking all three of you what your strategy is, what each organization's strategy is in the final days before the midterms leading up to Election Day. Alexis, I'll start with you. I take it you're hitting the road.
Yes, I have been on the road. I just came back from North Carolina with Sherry Beasley. I've been in Wisconsin. I've been in Arizona, New Mexico. You know, our strategy is to work tirelessly, getting out people who deeply care about this issue, who understand that abortion is a freedom issue. It is an economic issue. It is a health issue. And, you know, and we are focused on Senate races and governor's races because we we want obviously to get to 52 for federal legislation. And we also know that governors are going to be incredibly important backstops in the event that we are not able to do that.
And LaFonza Butler, same question for you. I understand you're hitting the road. Where are you going? And what are you hearing so far from women on the campaign trail about their understanding of what is happening with the issue of abortion?
Thanks so much for having me, Mika. And that's right. We are on the road. I have been on the road, just came from North Carolina myself, headed to Las Vegas, Nevada, Atlanta, Georgia, and Michigan. And, you know, everything that I have heard across the country is that women are angry and they are determined. They are determined to maintain their reproductive freedom, and they're determined to elect leaders who are going to stand with them. And I'm excited to be a part of this great coalition from Emily's List, Planned Parenthood, and NARAL Pro-Choice America, where we're determined to lift up the voices of women all across this country and elect more Democratic pro-choice women who are going to stand with us.
And Minnie, I understand NARAL is doing a lot of different types of strategies here, hitting college campuses, blanketing college campuses, also a lot of online mobilization. Talk about the different ways you are trying to get the message out.
Thank you again for having us. Really exciting to be here with my colleagues for the first time. Look, we know that the majority of Americans are with us. 8 out of 10 Americans, even before the leak and before the decision, were with us on this issue of legal abortion. So we know that at this point in the election, the game is all about mobilization and turnout. That's why Alexis, LaFonza, and I have been on the road. That's why we've been aggressively focused on GOTV. So one of the reasons we're focused on college campuses is this is the first generation of folks entering their reproductive lives with a major fundamental right taken away from them. And the energy, as you've already reported, is incredibly high. We're seeing record voter registration numbers with young people and women. So we know our job is to turn folks out. That's why we're doing aggressive campus organizing. We're doing digital online mobilization, virtual phone banks, text banks, anything folks can do from the comfort of their home, but also on their campus to really motivate them, because we know if we can get our people out, we will win this election.
So I know it's the first time the three of you have appeared together, and there's a lot of firsts happening here, which are great. But we've got 1 week till Election Day, and I'd like to ask each of you to give your closing pitch. You're talking to a Republican woman or a woman who's on the fence about voting at all. If you could give, like, the closing statement about what is at stake, speaking directly to that woman, and just take, 20 seconds to give us a sense of why you are doing what you do. And Alexis, I'll start with you.
You know, look, what I would say is that we know that the majority of people who seek access to abortion are already mothers. They already know what is entailed in what it means to control their own bodies and to have this right taken away, to understand that we really want people to vote because we trust women to make decisions about their own bodies, and that these politicians are trying to take that right away. And that's exactly why they need to show up, because their freedoms are at stake right now.
And LaFonza, with the economy being so on the front of so many women's minds as they're trying to feed their families, what's your message to break through? What's at stake when it comes to abortion rights?
Look, Mika, I would say to that woman that our fundamental freedoms are on the ballot this November. Whether we're talking about reproductive freedom, economic freedom, the freedom to live in a clean environment for generations to come, our fundamental freedoms are on the ballot this November. And we do not need politicians or elected officials in our doctors' offices. We have to trust that women and their doctors are going to make the best decisions for themselves and their families. And now is the time to turn out to vote for the elected officials who are going to stand with the majority of the American people and protect those fundamental freedoms.
And Minnie Tamaraju, your closing statement to voters.
You know, there's no more fundamental economic issue than the decision when, if, and how to have your family. So I would make that case to Republican and independent voters. Also, there is a place for you in our coalition. We may not agree on every issue, but this is the most fundamental issue of our lifetime, especially for women and people in the beginning of their reproductive lives. So join us. We know clearly which party stands for reproductive freedom, and we hope you join us at the polls.
The president of Planned Parenthood, Alexis McGill Johnson, the president of Emily's List, LaFonza Butler, and the president of NARAL, Minnie Tamaraju. Thank you all very much for coming on Morning Joe this morning. We really appreciate it.